In today's society, technology has reached an amazingly advanced stage. This is the age of the internet. A great portion of our time is spent consuming content through social media. Local news and libraries are becoming less and less dependent on. Now we browse the web for facts and answers. Finding a fact online is as easy as typing in a keyword into a search engine and clicking on the first result. But how many of these facts we see so often are actually real?
After all, with no way to confirm the validity of the information, we could be absorbing inaccurate or even fabricated information from these articles. According to a study conducted by the Pew Research Center just after the 2016 election, 23% of adult respondents said that they had shared fabricated political stories. And if we take into the account that the adult population in the United States that year was about 249 million, more than 50 million people could have potentially been spreading misinformation around in the US alone. Additionally, according to a survey conducted by Statista in 2019, only 10% of the participants surveyed answered that they were able to identify misinformation right away. If only 10% of our population is able to distinguish between the truth and the unreliable, how are we supposed to prevent the rest 90% from trusting fake news?
If we are unable to find a way to prevent the 90% from trusting and spreading fake news, it will throw us into an era of distrust. Confirmation bias leads people to malform their worldview, making fake news all the more prevalent. Bubbles form where outside information, real or not, is rejected. Then there's a matter of spreading it. Bubbles also act as echo chambers, amplifying the effect of even a single person receiving false information. This creates the perfect opportunity for people to abuse bubbles and manipulate the thinking of entire communities. Fake news is like being trapped in a spider web, because that news often tricks people to believe that it's true, just like how flies are accidentally caught in webs, not knowing that they'll be stuck in it. Now, how's TruthBeTold supposed to be helping with this?
So how exactly does all this work? The first step is to download the extension for your browser from our website and load up a web page. Then comes the extraction. We pull the raw HTML from web pages and then parse them for their content. Next comes pre-processing, the step where we convert human language to computer language. Our program finds key parts of a sentence, such as a subject, verb, or object, and isolates them in a process called tokenization. This also helps eliminate as much grammar as possible so as to not confuse the program. Now that we have isolated the keywords, we want to set up an equation that can make sense of these words in a systematic manner. Here's a basic example. Humans breathe oxygen. We can define humans as a subject and define the verb as a function of the object, and then set the subject equal to that function. By defining them in relation to each other, the elements can be tracked throughout the text and will have a definition that can be referenced later. This is now the fact that our program sees from the web page. Analyzed data is looked up in a variety of credible data sources like the Google Relation Extraction Corpus and the Fever database backed by Cambridge and Amazon, using a simple Python script. If something similar is found, the string can be considered true.
Defining similar is a bit tricky. Although only the fundamentals of our raw text remain, the database may still be worded slightly differently. In order to fix this, a neural network will be trained using sentences with the same meaning but with synonyms and different phrasing. It will learn to see synonyms and similar ideas through text and group them together. After a large amount of such sentences are fed and processed, this neural network will be able to spot small deviations between the extracted data from the web page and the data from the database, and judge whether the deviations are too large to consider both strings as having the same meaning. If the neural network deems the deviations acceptable, the line from the web page will be seen as true.
We are looking to have a minimum viable product by the beginning of this summer, where we will begin testing and optimizing our algorithm. From there, we hope to achieve our second draft, which we will bring to market. We are looking to provide two versions of our product, a free version with basic capabilities and a more advanced version that will cost around $9.99 annually. And given the fact that Google processes 3.5 billion searches per day, our gross revenue is potentially endless. Our product looks to completely eliminate the human aspect of fact-checking, which will make the process much faster and less biased. We'll also be checking each fact against a huge dataset, which, through machine learning, will greatly increase the accuracy of our output. Our output will be much more concise, as we will only be emphasizing false claims. Unlike our competitors, who have focused on one niche topic or platform, we are looking to cover nearly all sorts of information, giving us a much wider range. This is quite neatly illustrated by our strategy canvas, which shows our emphasis on scope, accessibility, and protection from human bias. Scope becomes especially important considering the audience distribution for our type of product in the current marketplace. Our human-free process, combined with our ability to fact-check in a variety of contexts, allows us to hit both the soon-to-be and the refusing audience, drawing that source of revenue into our orbit. As we continue to grow, this large captured audience will naturally draw those unaware of our product towards us as well. Truth be told, When the truth is told on the internet, it fosters world progress in the way the world has never known. Join us in our mission to keep it that way.